Hello, hello, hello. I am Jack, and I know best. And as always, I am here to prove it each and every Monday night by outdueling an unsuspecting member, or two, or three, from the fantasy football community in an underdog fantasy best ball draft. Tonight, we have my greatest foe on Jack Knows Best. We have Important Nonsense's very own Steve Bonham. And it's not just Steve joining, I will also be defeating Dave Fiorella of the Fantasy Football Ironman competition. And my final guest is you at home. Use promo code NONSENSE when you sign up on UnderDog Fantasy for a free $25, which you can spend to take part in the draft smackdown I'm about to put on my opponents. Welcome back, Steve, my arch nemesis. You're ready for more punishment?
Always. It's always a pleasure to be here, Jack. It is officially Scott Fish Bowl season. We've got Scott Fish Bowl 11 starting today. Once again, I'm repping another shirt. Basically, my entire wardrobe has been taken over by Scott Fish Bowl paraphernalia. So it's looking pretty good so far.
There's absolutely worse things you could be wearing. And it's looking pretty good so far, too, because your first two picks were
pretty solid.
Good, if I do say so myself.
Feel pretty good about it. So
Kyler Murray, Aaron
we'll
Rodgers.
See how it shapes out. That's right. After I was the anti-Aaron Rodgers guy last year, I've now publicly commented about how great Aaron Rodgers is multiple times this offseason. It feels like punishment, but it is what it is.
It's a bold strategy going up quarterback first.
It's just, it's cruel. It's cruel, but the world has a funny way of working. And so it's not just Steve, obviously. You see that Dave is here, and I have beaten Dave many, many times on Jack Knows Best. I think Dave has joined us for all four of our episodes so far, and this is our fifth time that I get to beat him. So thank you again for joining me, Dave.
Yeah, if I can just point out real quick, you may supposedly beat me here, but you and I have played in best ball the last 2 years together. And I've beaten you both times.
Well,
I wanted to bring that to your
attention. I like this. This is good.
This is true. Like I'll chalk it up to the competition. You know, I'm doing so many drafts in that competition. The law of averages. Once we even things out, that you understand, right?
Convenient excuses. Interesting. All right.
Like that's the key. That's the key to a solid grift. Is you never admit you're wrong. You never admit you lied.
Do we want to jump in this one now? There's only 3 people in it.
Absolutely.
We got the 3 of us, so.
And so, Dave, anyways, sorry for insulting you. Thank you for joining us. It does mean a lot. Very happy to have you on. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself and the league that you run that we're both in, where we play in a best ball tournament as well as several crazy other leagues.
Yeah, so the easiest way to describe it, so the Fantasy Football Ironman competition is a competition I put together that tries to take advantage of literally every type of fantasy football league out there. And you get 12 people who play in 12 different leagues. And your placement in each of those leagues basically sets up how you do overall on the season. And it's quite the adventure. I think Jack can attest to that.
It is quite the adventure. It is hard. It is grueling. It is long. It is competitive.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely challenges you not only on fantasy, but also your endurance. We do live draft days and all. So you definitely get challenged both mentally and physically in some ways.
Absolutely. And I may or may not have shown up late a couple times to those drafts because it's the weekend and I make bad decisions on weekends at times, but
time zones. We'll blame it on time zones, right?
Sure.
Time zones. Yeah, it's all the time zones.
Yeah, so I do that, and then I also run. I put together a redraft StatBook. If anyone ever catches me on Twitter, and it's just at Dave Fiorella, you can check out info on both the StatBook and the Ironman competition. And Ironman's about to really start kicking off too. So
yeah, we have our league draft this Friday, I believe.
Yeah, we figure out which every year we kind of there's a pool of leagues, so we randomize which ones we're drafting from this year. And we just did the league draft. We have the draft order one coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake. It's a lot of moving parts. It's confusing.
It's a challenge for me sometimes, and I run the whole thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as always, Jack Knows Best is brought to you by the good folks at UnderDog Fantasy. And if you think you know better than Jack, why don't you head on over to UnderDog.com, UnderDog Fantasy, and use promo code NONSENSE for a free $25 entry. And then you can try and beat me, but you won't.
We still have one person available left in this draft, so who knows? Maybe you can get in here and play with us today.
Yeah, or steal our money because you're not following the wheel.
Well, if you're not following the wheel, then I don't know what you're doing wrong. And I don't know if you noticed, but the production value, it's gone up this week. We have the full screen this time. We don't have the tabs in it showing.
Amazing.
It's beautiful.
We're almost like a real show.
Almost. We're getting there.
I'm super honored to be here for this.
So for people that are joining us for the first time, as we are now full, what's going to happen here today, Jack? How does this all work?
So we will be spinning the Wheel of Wow, and we still, have not found a better name for it, and it will tell us what position we're drafting in the first round. And so we have enough time that was a practice one.
Right.
And so
Dave's at 4, I'm at 6, and Jack, you're at 9. So.
Ooh, lovely.
Early.
Not bad. And nobody is like right on the ends either, so we're not going to have to rush through our
Mike Manning is at the ends. Poor Mike.
Oh, here he goes again. Now he's going to have the convenient excuse of Jack didn't spin it in time.
That damn Jack, always messing up. He's a really smart guy, but he messes up a lot.
Oh no. Wait, is that the real deal?
Is this the practice spin? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
The draft hasn't even started yet, and you just keep spinning the wheel over there randomly.
I just want to show people what we're working with, and all right,
the draft has started, so spin the wheel.
Wheel of Wow.
Wow.
Was very kind to us with the
flex.
The easiest pick for the first round because...
Well, easiest pick would have been running back, but...
Well, fair, but it gives you the option if all the good running backs. Maybe it gives Mike a good option at least at 12.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any chance that I'm not going running back here. I really hate the early picks, and some people think this is reach, but I'm really pro Cowboys. I love the offense. I think Zeke's getting a little underlooked this year.
Boy, this is putting me in a tough spot immediately.
I think it's pretty easy for you. I know what I think here.
I don't know.
But I can't say you're wrong with Zeke at all. Dak Prescott, he very well could win comeback player of the year and MVP.
You know what? Why not? Let's go crazy.
Whew!
Why not?
Whoa.
Wow.
Why not? Let's have some fun here today.
Oh my goodness.
And Saquon Barkley falls to the 107. What a ridiculous value.
I was gonna go Saquon, but I was like, when else am I gonna draft Travis Kelce? It'll be my first share of Travis Kelce.
This is true.
And
I do that myself.
I don't like this part of the draft, and really puts me in a bind. Cam Akers, Austin Eckler, and Aaron Jones all pretty close together for me. I think I'm going to go with Aaron Jones because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is leaving, and in that case, Aaron Jones is my RB4 in best ball. So as long as Aaron Rodgers stays, I'm happy. But if Aaron Rodgers leaves, I am going to lose a lot of money because I have a lot invested in Aaron
I don't
Jones.
think he's going to fall that far. I mean, if you think Rodgers is out of there, I mean, they're probably going to run a little more.
Well,
I don't have
better
any faith
spin
in
for
Will.
Mike. He doesn't know what to do in the second round. Come on, you're already slacking. It's already round 1.
Wide receiver.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to end up having to go 0 RB here. I know that's the case by taking Travis Kelce in the first round because the wheel's not going to be kind to me because I spat in its face, apparently.
That was pretty viciously, too. That was like a full-on on Channing Crowder there.
We'll see what happens. My hope is that was a wise move and the tight end doesn't come up until like the 10th round.
What a start for Mike Manning. Austin Eckler and Stephon Diggs. That's chef's
a good
kiss. That is absolutely beautiful. But, I got to do it. And I got to hope that I can stack the AAA connection of Aaron.
You're going to go all
Adams.
Packers?
I hope I can later, but in the meantime, Devontae Adams, if Aaron Rodgers stays, he's still my wide receiver 1. So even if I don't get Aaron Rodgers, I still think I get a bargain. So, yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that value. I mean, even a number 1 wide receiver with a terrible quarterback is still worth having. Look
at Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. It's my first exposure to Nuke in the Jack Knows Bests. I believe I have him in one other best ball.
I think this has to be Ridley.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Ridley. I'm trying to go contrarian to my normal teams here.
I've ended up on their wide receiver 2 a lot. Whether you're going Gage, but I mean, passing on Ridley, he's got to get the targets this year.
Yep.
All right, while we have time, we will spin that wheel.
Be good to us.
Come on, running back. Oh, QB. Yeah, there you go. Get your Aaron Rodgers. You got your stack.
Not now. Absolutely not yet.
Make the reach. Got to do it for the content.
Coward.
Yeah, I am a coward because I'm smart. Cowards are smart. It is a natural instinct to be afraid. Okay, you know what? I will not be shamed for being afraid.
All right. Well, that's your mistake.
Draft safe, especially in the early rounds, and then you don't lose.
Goes Kittle. You're going to have your pick of the litter here, Mike, because I highly doubt, or Dave, because I highly doubt that Mike is going to. Oh,
that
he's at the end.
Worse.
So you got anybody you want here. Michael Thomas. There it goes. So every quarterback at your disposal. Pick your poison.
That's literally the worst thing ever. Someone like me, completely indecisive. This is terrible.
Who is your QB1, Dave?
You know what? I'm going to stay on brand. I'm Team Dak.
Oh.
I was like real big on him last year. Got every share I could.
All right. That's fine with me because then you're going to give me the stack.
Yeah.
And I'll take it.
That is
I thought about swiping that just to keep you off it. But
Yep. I mean, if you blocked me on Mahomes, then I was certainly going to block Jack on Lamar Jackson. So it was one or the other there.
I gotta get my QB1. Gotta get my QB1.
And it's another situation where I own a lot of shares of Kyler, and I even own a lot of shares of Jalen Hurts. So
I've drafted a lot of Lamar Jackson, but can you blame me? He's a cheat code. Dave, can you blame me for drafting Lamar Jackson at all?
I cannot blame you for drafting Lamar. My only problem is I'm a Ravens fan, and I'm big into the juju. So, I don't touch Ravens players if I can avoid it,
It's fair.
Like that way, if, the Ravens do bad, my fantasy teams do good.
And we will spin that wheel for Mr. Mike, and he will be taking
wide
a
receiver
wide receiver.
Again. Right. Yep, I told you. 0 RB. Here it comes.
Yeah, it certainly makes me feel better about anchoring with Zeke in the first there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with not picking Tyreek Hill and going with Aaron Jones.
So I feel like I'm going to get swiped here.
There's a good chance that I will.
I'm looking at what's here, and I'm like, this isn't going to work out in my favor.
Gonna be honest, Dave. If one of the Cowboys receive, one of them's gone because Mike made the right decision taking CD Lamb, and if Amari Cooper makes it to me, he will also be gone.
Like, there's no point trying to hide it when they're both sitting there at the top, and I'm like hoping one of them magically falls. But
right.
So question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
CD or Amari? If you can pick one, who do you have?
It's super, super rough. I really hate trying to do this.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm generally going Amari. Just because, the consistency, he had a little more time with Dak.
I completely agree. And I think that we are seeing a fall from Amari Cooper. He's on the down slope as the wide receiver 1, but he's still about to go over that crest. He hasn't quite crested yet, whereas CeeDee Lamb, he's kind of going the opposite direction. He's going all the way up. And so there's ships passing in the night, but I think it's still Amari Cooper for at least 15 games this year, maybe at the end, kind of like DK Metcalf when he took over as a rookie or in his second year from Tyler Lockett. Maybe that, but
I'm going to take the wide receiver 1 in LA. Get Robert Woods.
Bob Forrest. Just
Bobby Trees.
Such a good pick. Such a value every time. Who does Dave take now that we have ripped out his heart?
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go Chase. I think there is plenty of opportunity in Cincy. I'm hoping Burrow stays healthy this year. I think everyone's really fading Higgins and Boyd, but I think there's an opportunity for the three of them to still all thrive.
Well, Steve would tell you that you're wrong and that you should draft Tyler Boyd.
Look,
No one should draft Tyler Boyd if they can avoid it.
Look, here's the thing. If you look at the numbers,
But Jamar Chase, I agree with. He's my wide receiver 14, so I'm with you there.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers last year, though, AJ Green managed to have almost an equal target share with the other two, and so you just easily swap him out with Chase. And I think there's still an opportunity where you have a pretty even target share. So as long as they're catching the balls, we should be good.
I can't believe Steve didn't swear there when tight end came up on the board.
I thought about it. But you know what? This isn't terrible because I already know Dave's going to get Hawkinson. That leaves me Mark Andrews, and then that leaves Jack a whole bunch of nothing. So I'm not overly upset about this.
I really don't hate the options.
You're right. And at the same time, you get to go with the hero tight end strategy in your 0 RB team. So it's interesting.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely contrarian.
Well, there's still one more tight end spot comes up, right?
Yeah.
Straight tight end, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm pretty sure there's running back spots on that wheel, right? I mean, I'm not imagining that. I'm pretty sure they're
Not
there.
tonight.
Just haven't seen them. Okay. They'll come up in rounds like 13 through 18.
Yep.
Steve's RB1, Rashad Penny.
Darrington Evans. Really hope that something happens to Derrick Henry at some point.
Hey, we like Darrington Evans. He loves and supports content creators. We are a big Darrington Evans fans over here at Important Nonsense.
That's right.
Not big Dave Fiorella fans because he just took TJ, but
Well, I mean, Steve's got it. There's no other pick there.
there really isn't. I am still alone, I think, in thinking TJ Hawkinson over Kyle Pitts. Is anyone else on that hill with me?
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, wow. Reasonable people in this chat. Who knew?
I think we're the last of the Mohicans over here. I think we're the dying breed.
I easily have him
Absolutely.
as my tight end 4.
Hawkinson?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Pitts I have at tight end 8, and I feel like that's pretty generous for a rookie. He's going to be good, but
Yeah, he's got all the opportunity.
to think he's immediately going to step in and be one of those top 2 or 3 guys, I think is pretty crazy. And he's going as high as tight end 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, I get the upside, but
I've seen him over Kittle consistently, and I've seen him over Waller a couple of times.
I can't believe I'm taking Dallas Goedert in the 5th round.
Perfect. Love
You know
it.
what, though? Wide receiver 1 in Philadelphia.
I mean,
And you know what? I heard that Zach Ertz is going to be traded to the Bills in the next 48 hours.
they've been saying that for months, though.
I heard it 4 days ago, but it's going to happen.
Mhm.
Dallas Goedert, stock's going up. Buy now.
Zach Ertz within the next 48 hours over the last 4 months.
Yeah.
It's some
Oh,
pretty
man.
math.
That's why when an account is just called NFL
Yes!
Rumors, oh wow, they do exist.
I was kind of hoping it kept falling.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
God,
like
it's
Steve
all
Griffin.
crap. Oh, no. This is not great.
Come on,
Sixth
there's some
round
gems
running
there.
back.
I got to swing for the moon here.
Ooh boy.
I'm at the end of this one too, so you guys get to pick it before I do.
And Mike's going to take somebody decent, and then Jack.
No,
There goes one of my guys.
That's who I wanted.
Now Jack's going to take the other one. That puts me in a real pickle.
Are you guys not Team Edmonds?
I am a pretty. I was gonna take Kareem Hunt because I felt like I had to, but no, I am a big Chase Edmonds fan.
Okay.
And Kareem Hunt versus Chase Edmonds, I would feel happier with Chase Edmonds, but I would also be more stressed. And like we've talked about, I am a low risk person because I am a coward, and that's why I know best. Because it's smart to be a coward.
Ooh,
But
very interesting.
now I'm backed into the corner. I take Chase Edmonds because he could catch 70 balls from Kyler Murray this year.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of threat in Connor.
Yeah, I have never been a James Conner believer.
Come on.
I'm sorry, but
Oh, this guy's got 4 running backs. Ooh, I might be in good shape here.
Yeah.
So by taking Kelsey early, I really pushed myself into a 0 RB strategy. And when I'm doing that, all right, yes, it worked out. I'm looking for upside. So I was hoping to get Javonte Williams, who could potentially be the 1 in Denver, or Trey Sermon to be potentially the 1 in San Francisco. So if I'm putting all my eggs in upsides basket, then Trey Sermon definitely the pick for me there. I don't mind that at all.
no, you definitely. When you, let's look at your.
And I thought that's what you were going to go with, Jack, but you already have the safe pick for your RB1, so there was no need to swing for the fences there. So I understand that.
Exactly. It's a Chase Edmonds I know is going to be consistently good and has a chance to be great. Whereas Trey Sermon, I don't know that he's going to be consistently good.
Right.
It's all the upside play. And when I've got Aaron Jones, who's kind of a bit of an upside play and a stable guy. Oh, and it's James Robinson to Mr. Dave over here. Tell us about that with versus Travis Etienne.
Yeah, it's a tough one. My projections, I got Etienne scoring more, but I think there's still an opportunity for James Robinson on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like in PPR, I think
especially at the goal line.
Yeah, I think Etienne is an easy favorite to get more points this year, but I don't think people should be writing off James Robinson entirely.
That's the correct answer. That is absolutely the correct answer. Wide receiver will be coming up next for your pick, but I'm glad you answered correctly because if you had said James Robinson's going to score more points, you might have had a little bit of an argument.
But I don't think the gap is as wide as people are projecting it to be. Like I have it as maybe 15 points.
Ooh.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah. And that might be me being super wild on that take, but that's about where I'm at.
So my problem with James Robinson is I am a big athleticism guy, and James Robinson's just kind of a mid-tier athlete. He's a James Conner. He's all these replaceable backs. That's how I view him. And so when I look at Travis Etienne, who's just an absolute size speed freak, can catch the ball like no running back prospect we've seen recently. That's why I kind of go in that direction where I'm a simple man. Run fast, and I will love you.
All right, Claypool.
And Chase Claypool does that.
I don't know. That one kind of hurts my pride a little.
Oh, well, that's hilarious. Well, I had 2 people in my queue, and it was Chase Claypool and Devonta Smith. So I'm going to go back to my other boyfriend of this offseason, and I will take LaVisca.
Oh, that's a surprise. I thought it'd be Tyler Boyd.
Oh, yeah? That's what you were thinking?
All right, you caught me off guard there.
Oh, wow.
All right, so there's
I'm
2
curious what
options
Jack's
here.
thinking here. Yeah.
That I think I am not. I agree with Steve. Oh, okay. Well, one of my options have been taken away because I'm a big Jerry Jeudy fan. I still think he's the two.
That was kind of my debate too.
I still think he's the two, but he could be the one. It's possible. So,
I just wish they had a better quarterback situation.
yeah, I do, and that's how I feel. Deebo Samuel, he could end up being the one.
Yep.
There's very much a chance in the 7th round.
And then who knows what that offense looks like with Trey Lance too.
Yeah.
So he could have a huge season if the two of them connect when he comes in.
And he can run the ball out of the backfield. He thrives in those jet sweeps, those reverses. So the sky's the limit for Deebo Samuel with this new offense.
Yeah, and that's our wide receiver. We all have that as wide receiver 3, right? So.
Oh
no.
Right.
Oh boy. Well, good news is I get to balance.
So the tight ends seem to be pretty much the same thing that was there last time.
Yep, still
tight end.
Oh, you mean no one wanted to draft tight ends
the
in
choices
round?
Are literally the same, I think.
Sorry, it was Mike. I was going to say someone drafted
one of the tight ends,
Tyler Higbee, but it was
Yeah.
Mike, so it doesn't really count. See, I'm not a Tyler Higbee fan. You can tell because I can't even remember his dumb name.
Yep, and there goes Fant.
But I am a Noah Fant fan. Don't like that. And if Logan Thomas goes, because I can't, oh thank goodness, because I can't draft Mike Gesicki because he's got the same bye as Dallas Goedert. So Logan Thomas, and you know what? These NFC East tight ends, they're not too bad. Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas.
It's in there now, so I'm all for it.
They're not too bad. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. It's great. It's great.
I don't love this here.
You don't love having tight
I
end
don't love any of these, yeah.
Adam Troutman?
I do like. Yeah, see, I like Irv Smith. I do like Adam Troutman. I think, yeah, for where we're at and just for the upside of it, that's what I'm going to go, Troutman.
Well done.
Okay.
And this is probably the best group of tight ends in any underdog draft.
Kelsey Andrews, Troutman. Yeah, I stacked the hell out of those tight ends.
And
right.
Davey Boy Smith with Gerald Everett from the top rope.
So I was a big Will Dissly fan, and I think there's a definite opportunity for a tight end in Seattle.
Sure.
And that's got to be the guy now, right?
You would
like
think.
You wouldn't spend the money and get the
Why
guy
would you sign him to free agency if he wasn't, right?
If he wasn't.
Running back, yay.
Steve gets his RB2 in round 9.
Oh, hey, look, it's basically the same guys that were already there.
Except minus Raheem Mostert because he
Yeah,
just went
exactly.
off the board.
Yeah, a little more deja vu going on.
Leonard Fournette's gone.
Oh, and I'm on the front end of this one, so.
Yep.
Fournette
Well, I
and
can say it
Ronald
now,
Jones.
then. I'm hoping Zach Moss is still there because, like, I think you say this every week, but he's like that last running back one still out there.
Yeah.
Yep. And like, who is drafting James Conner and Ronald Jones above Zach Moss? Like, show your face. Show yourself.
I do think it's a little weird. I mean, that's a high-powered offense. I mean, I get there's going to be a bit of a committee going with Singleton, but
is there though?
I don't. That's what I mean. It's not really. Certainly not attractive.
There goes Connor.
Oh, you are so lucky, Dave.
Bam! Thanks.
Yeah, my opinion on Devin Singletary is he is the smaller, slower, less athletic Zach Moss. So why would they play him?
I unfortunately have too many dynasty shares of him to jump on board. I gotta hold out some hope.
Steve with RB2 coming off the board.
This is a tough one.
It can't feel good.
Theoretically, you have Melvin Gordon and David Johnson, who are both the starters on their roster right now. But either one of them could lose the job. I don't love it, but I'm gonna take a shot
Ooh.
with David Johnson.
Okay.
David
Hoping he's
Johnson,
got
RB2.
something left in the tank. Anything. Give me something, David.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope that Davis Mills comes in real early and just checks it down.
Is that really what you're hoping for there? I don't think about that.
I mean, Tyrod's not gonna check it down, so
Yeah.
that's the only hope. David Johnson catching 15 balls a game for 14 yards.
Like somebody's got to get points on that team, right?
In theory.
So it's him and Brandon Cooks, and that is it. So I am going to. Oh no!
Ride the Gus bus. You know
Yeah, and but it's hard because that doesn't correlate well with Lamar Jackson because it's hard to see them both doing well in the same game. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon because, like you said, he is the starter. He could have a couple 2 TD games on minimal yards.
That's the safe pick for sure.
People seem to think Javonte Williams is a lot bigger than he is. He's only 212 pounds. People think he's 230. He's not. There's a chance Melvin Gordon's the goal line back.
Spin that wheel for Mike.
Oh. This is why you are the best co-host, even if you are my worst enemy.
Somebody has to pay attention here.
Running back, wide receiver. All right.
Okay.
Someone's got to pay attention, and certainly not me.
So Mike will get to double tap here. What's he going to do? So he is on the Gus bus. All right.
There you go.
That was the right pick.
And now he's got running back or wide receiver.
I mean, there's just too many good wide receiver options there, right? He's got to end up on something there.
Jarvis Landry in the 10th round. Come on.
Yeah.
I really don't get some. Yeah, right decision for Mike. Maybe I jinxed it, but come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think people are a little too down on the Browns offense, and I'm not entirely sure why. I know Baker's a little unpredictable, but
he's unpredictable, but like he could be ascending. He really could be on the up.
they certainly seemed to get their stuff together last year, at least around playoff time.
He outdueled Dak Prescott. That happened. We can't forget about that. Oh. I don't know what I want to do here. I don't feel great. This doesn't make me feel good with the wide receivers available at wide receiver 4. But Michael Pittman could be the wide receiver 1 in Indy, whereas Darnell Mooney is never going to be that because Allen Robinson. So, taking the upside shot with Michael Pittman, I guess.
What do we have left on the wheel?
We have Superflex, wide receiver.
So 2 wideouts, 2 running backs, a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, and a super flex. Well, the upside pick I was going to make there was Ronald Jones, so that makes that slightly easier. I'll take Elijah Moore.
Big Elijah Moore fan over here.
And this is a tough one. Like, I realize that all my running backs so far are by week 7. So either I'm just punting that week or I need to reach here on a guy. So
Especially
I'm
Tony
go
Pollard.
reach just to be a little safer.
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Williams was still a pretty good start. So, I mean, assuming that Dillon's just stepping into that role, sure, why not? Like, I like Tony Pollard better, but
yes, that's what I like to see.
Week. Oh no,
that's what I was hoping for.
Immediately punished.
I mean, the wheel's being good to you tonight, Dave. Come on, you can't complain too much.
It's all relative, I guess. Had I known, though, I would have gone wide receiver there.
It's calculated risk.
Yeah.
You just calculated wrong. It's
Yep.
fine. I wouldn't do that because I know best, but you can't
Right.
blame yourself.
Clearly, my flaws are showing. Oh, that's a real kick in the butt.
Guy drafted Rashad Bateman. He's a genius.
11th round for Bateman. That never happens in a draft with Steve.
Exactly.
You took Elijah Moore over Rashad Bateman. Wow.
I did. Again, I told you, contrarian draft this time.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
trying. I own Rashad Bateman in basically every league I'm in, except for the one where Mike sniped me. So
That's fair.
I can't just put all my eggs in the Bateman basket.
NorCal Raider has gone with the homer pick with Kenyon Drake, leaving Dave with a couple running backs.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Jamal Williams on this one.
Do you believe in
I don't really
DeAndre
love
Swift?
any of these guys, so
I'm hoping I can get Henderson here. Figures. All right. Well, that means my fallback is be Tariq Cohen.
So mine is going to be Tavius Murray and Naheem Hines are my top two here. But then after that, I don't like any of these guys. Like, I don't want to draft Devin Singletary, Alexander Madison, McKissick, Kevin Coleman, Gio Bernard, James White. I don't believe in any of them at all.
I don't hate
remotely.
McKissick. I think if it plays out like last year, like I posted on Twitter the other day, I ran both of him and Gibson, starting both at several times last year. It didn't always work out, but
I'm just a big Antonio Gibson guy, and I think with Ryan Fitzpatrick not checking it down so much, there's going to be less room for McKissick. They
that's possibly true.
upgraded the weapons around him, so he's not going to have to play in the slot so much. It very well could happen, but
Spin the wheel, Jack.
oh, sorry, I'm raving about Antonio Gibson because he was a former wide receiver in college. Because
QB.
All right.
QB2. But our guy Kenneth Gainwell, he relegated him to wide receiver, so if he's better than Antonio Gibson, and Antonio Gibson is better than Adrian Peterson, then Kenny Gainwell must be pretty good.
Oh man, this turned into a mess super fast. Looking at all those running backs and like my poor 3 wide receivers. Not feeling good.
Well, Mike goes with Trevor Lawrence.
The correct decision.
We already know what Jack's going to do.
JFFOB,
He's got to say it once per show. So
Uh-huh.
Justin effing Fields or bust because the Bears are back, baby.
Always
I
has to
guess.
get that in there.
Yep.
I do. And now I wish I had taken Darnell Mooney because I could have that stack in, but I digress. It's fine. It's fine. One of the few times I made the wrong decision. It doesn't happen often. But Justin, just look at this. Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson. What a duo. Limitless upside. Steve will be taking Kirk Cousins here.
Ooh, that was quick.
I was ready to go.
Yeah, no thoughts or anything on that one. All right. Well, I appreciate you letting Matt Ryan fall so I can at least try to stack him off with Ridley.
I feel like I got the upside QBs here with Mahomes and Tua. I feel good about that. I feel good about my wide receivers. I feel great about my tight ends. I mean, it's hard not to feel great about my tight ends.
Yeah.
It's just those pesky running backs.
Who needs them?
Good thing they're not important. All right. So we've got 3 wide
A lot of
receivers,
wide receivers left there.
and it goes super flex. Perfect. Take whatever you want. So 3 wide receivers, a running back, wide receiver, and a running back. That's what's left on the board. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of position players here. Do I want a 4th tight end?
I think the answer is yes, right?
I think for
question
sure. I
is-
mean, you gotta get that insurance to your insurance on insurance.
Like when you can have tight end 4 Jared Cook, you got to do it.
Right.
You would regret it if you didn't. It's a great spot to take a running back here, Steve.
When you've got my roster, it is.
Yeah. Starting to feel that way too. Just about wide receivers. I'm gonna reach a bit here on their ADP at least and grab Kirk.
It's not a bad one.
I still have dreams of, the days where he was putting up big numbers before Hopkins got there.
Take Paris Campbell.
That was rude of you.
See, I don't know. I really don't want to touch those wide receivers these days. I have zero faith in Wentz.
I don't have a ton of faith in Wentz either, but he's my 5th wide out here, so
But what if he comes back to MVP form? Then what?
I can't see it happening. I don't know. He was such a disaster last year.
But he wears digital camo.
Yeah.
He has
Yep.
to be good. I hope that was the first rule when they traded for him, is you get rid of that digital camo arm sleeve because it looks stupid. All right, wide receiver 1 in New England. Let's go, Nelson Aguilar.
low bar.
It's a low bar, but you know what? I don't like Nelson Aguilar in real fantasy leagues where you have to set your lineup, but in best ball, when I
Sure.
can just get the 20 points and not have to care about the drops, yep.
You better hope that Mac Jones starts sooner rather than later, though.
This is true. But he probably will.
Spin that wheel.
Spin it.
Wide
And
receiver
then another
again.
wide receiver. 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a wide receiver running back. And there is a lot of talent left on the board at wide receiver.
Yeah,
We
it's
have-
not bad.
We have Brashad Perriman, who has had a long and successful career with many teams, had a lot of success.
Yep.
Brian
A lot
Edwards.
is a relative term.
Brian Edwards off the board for Mike Manning. Reports out today that Brian Edwards will be starting in 3 wide receiver sets alongside John Brown and Henry Ruggs. So Hunter Renfrow to the bench.
Yeah, that news has kind of really skyrocketed his ADP for kind of no reason.
It happened last year too.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Manning guaranteed 50 points in week 1.
Yeah.
All right. John Brown is the pick.
Uh-oh. Waffling.
Ooh. No, I'm going to go Traquan. I'm going to take Traquan over John Brown.
All
I
right.
like it.
I don't know if I feel great, but it caught my eye. You know what? When you hesitate on your decision, it's probably not the right decision. So every time you hesitate, you should change your mind. That's what I
Is
always
that,
say.
is that how that works?
That's
Absolutely.
certainly one way to do it.
I know best, so listen to me.
Yep.
Great advice, as always.
Strong
Papa
advice
Jack.
for sure.
Who will Steve add as his wide receiver 6?
Find out here in a second.
You have your choice of any Detroit wide receiver.
All right, perfect. I'm on the clock, so I will add the wide receiver 1 in New England.
Big Jacoby Myers guy,
trust
eh?
either
Not
of them.
worried about Kendrick Bourne?
When's the last time anybody said not worried about Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah. That's how you know you're deep in it.
That's right.
What, you don't think N'Keal Harry's going to break out this year?
No.
I wish. That would have been great for my
They've
dynasty
been
roster.
talking about it forever.
Oh, Jamison Crowder is a good pick.
I considered that, but I've already invested in Elijah Moore here. And I have that draft from last week when I've got way too many Jets. So I feel like I'm all Jetsed out at this point.
It happens easily. It's pretty... Two Jets is too many. So another wide receiver, of course.
Sticking with the wide receiver trend, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Crowder's another guy who's really kind of fallen way below where he should be.
I expected him to get a big boost once he re-signed with the Jets.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened. At least he's getting drafted consistently now, but...
Yeah, like, what's the worry? It's the uncertainty at quarterback, right? So why are you still taking Moore over Crowder? Like, I think there's a little bit of rookie love there.
Moore and
and I
Corey
think-
Davis, too.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think some of the vet picks are a little more solid sometimes.
And will Dave speak true to that on his next pick? Will he go with a rookie in Amon-Ra St. Brown? Or will he
That
go
is
with
tempting.
the other Lions receiver, Tyrell Williams?
Any of the other wide receivers in the Lions.
I didn't mention Brashad Perriman because I
Yeah.
can't see you taking Brashad Perriman as a Ravens fan like myself.
Somebody has to get the ball there, right? Somebody. Goff still has a little bit in him.
And you know what? No, sorry, you can't take another quarterback. That would have been nice. You could have stacked
Yeah.
Hawkinson and
Yeah, that's true.
Brashad and Goff. What an
Go for that-
exciting
go for that
team!
Lions stack. That's the real strategy there. All right, you know what?
Oh, no, AJ Green. Well, way to get sniped right ahead of you, Dave. Wow.
We talked it up so much, I'm going to do it. Going again with the bet.
I think Tyrell
Tyrell,
Williams
the
is the wide
Gazelle.
receiver one. I really do. Like, Brashad Perriman hasn't had 1,000 yards in the NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown hasn't.
Yep. I mean, they both had, like, Williams and Perriman both had kind of flashes in the pan, right? So Perriman, didn't he go off that 1 year in Tampa? Like when there was
It
no
was
one
a
else and they
couple
were injured?
games.
Yeah.
Wasn't 1,000-yard season like Tyrell had, though.
So, I mean, I think there's definitely upside potential when you're talking best ball, but I still feel more comfortable with Tyrell than I do Perriman.
Absolutely. I think you chose correctly.
Remind me, was Perriman the one who, like, fractured his skull as a rookie? Something
No,
like
that was Sergio
That was-
Kindle.
that? Oh, okay.
Perriman had
I
tore his
just couldn't
PCL.
remember. I know there was one.
Perriman tore his PCL in training camp, and then
That's right.
he needed surgery, but he just they didn't get it for him. And then Harbaugh started hating him because he wasn't practicing, even though he
Yep.
was injured. And I'm glad Harbaugh has become a bit more of a softie because he was an angry man for a while. But having
Winning
Joe
games
Flacco,
will do that.
having Joe
Oh.
Flacco as QB1 will make you a better human.
Oh, come on. I
Eventually.
will never say a bad thing about Joe Flacco.
I love Flacco, but he made me bitter by the end.
Listening to Aiden getting that Denzel Mims 15th
Mhm.
round.
I think Denzel Mims is pretty underrated because he has seen his stock sink the most
Yep.
with the Jets.
Forced running back. All right.
Where am I? Oh,
Oh, man, I
this
can
one.
complete the set and be right about the Houston starting running back situation no matter what.
Drafting
Because
Mark
then you don't
Ingram.
get sniped.
Yes, Mark Ingram.
Oh, what a mess!
I don't know what they're doing out there. I mean, they signed, what,
I don't
10
know what they're
running
doing
backs?
out there.
Look, you trade all that for David Johnson, and I realize it was the last, front office group, but dang.
De'Ami Brown, solid pick.
And a running back up next for Mr. Mike.
So he's got a sniper, right? Oh, no.
Gio Bernard.
Mm.
Look, I don't want to jinx it, but we're 16 rounds through this, and Mike hasn't timed out and picked the wrong position yet. I mean, he is doing solid.
This is the best he's ever done.
I know.
Go, Mike.
You did it.
We got to give Jack some credit, right? Because he's
No.
spinning the wheel. No,
Yeah, but why is he spinning the wheel, Dave?
because you're bothering him, right? So Steve gets the credit here. That's what we're doing. With.
That's what I'm going with.
Yep, I like it.
You know what? We can't leave a draft without Ty Johnson. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Oh man,
Love my man Ty.
Yeah, we know you love your man Ty Johnson.
He's the RB1 in New York. What can I say?
It's that and the Bears are back. Those are the two things he has to get in every draft.
I will be shocked if that works out. I don't buy it.
He's bigger, faster, stronger, better hair, and
You know who else doesn't buy it? The Jets.
Yep.
When Tevin Coleman starts
We'll
week
see.
1 and then doesn't start another game the rest of the year, you'll see.
Then
Am
Carter
I
steps in. So where's
saying
Johnson?
Michael Carter is going to be the for sure starter or even the best running back on that team? No. But do I think it's Ty Johnson? Yeah, maybe not.
You're okay.
All right,
It's
with
not
my
wrong.
terrible running back situation, I'm swinging upside again.
This is awful.
RB4 Kenny Gainwell.
Gotta love that, right? What's not to love there?
Everything.
Ugh.
At this point,
Whatever.
you're like
We all know
gambling
Miles
on
Sanders is terrible, right? We all understand Miles Sanders is an awful running back. So I'm not alone on that.
I'm not quite there.
All right. Well, you'll get there. Don't worry.
I'm not drafting much Miles Sanders this year. I don't think
That's
he's
smart.
terrible, but I think he's not what I hoped for when he was drafted. Samaje Perine.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like me, him or Chuba, and I'm like, who do I think is more likely to get injured, Joe Mixon or CMC? And I'm leaning towards Joe Mixon here.
But you think that Perine is the automatic backup?
It's where I'm leaning currently.
Because I think it's probably Chris today. Evans. So we'll see what happens through training camp, I guess.
Exactly. The hype so far has been that Perine is going to be that number 2, but I may change my mind tomorrow. But as of today, that's where I'm putting my money.
Fair enough.
Running back, wide receiver with your next pick, Dave.
And what's left? There's one wide receiver left after that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm just going to have to double this out at wide receiver.
Coward.
I think it's pretty obvious. After the terrible decision.
What are you talking about? Rashad Penny is still there.
Oh, Lazard went. That's disappointing. Those guys have fallen way too far.
A lot of the time they get undrafted, even the Packers.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. Either him or MVS is going to be the number 2 wide receiver on a team that is going to be pass forward. Like, I don't see Rodgers having any leverage to get out of there. So unless he's holding out, he's going to play there.
Unless he's hosting Jeopardy.
Didn't they already give that to... I thought they already gave it to somebody.
I don't know. I don't follow Jeopardy.
I don't either, but I thought they did.
All right. Once again, I don't know if you've heard this tonight, but I've gone 0 RB.
Yep.
So I'm swinging upside. And I will take maybe the starter in Atlanta. Maybe.
Nice. I like it.
Why not?
What if it's
shoot for the moon?
Twitter keeps telling me that Kadre Ollison is the backup.
No.
Good. I'm glad we agree that Kadre Ollison is terrible at football.
I mean, here's my thing. Like, I'm really kind of down on Mike Davis this year because I feel like that situation is so terrible. There's most likely to be a Leonard Fournette situation there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some crazy last minute signing of,
right. Some veteran gets cut and then they sign. But I don't. Why would you want to sign in Atlanta though, other than just to cash a paycheck?
But
that's all that would be.
It feels too weird that they haven't done anything better than Mike Davis. And Mike Davis is okay, but it seems like he's primed for something terrible.
Primed to get replaced by Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, just something like that, something crazy. Frank Gore comes back,
All right, we are going to go with the Canadian because Canada Day was last week, and so we'll go with Josh Palmer.
It's fair. So all that's left now is wideout.
Yep.
Oh, good. Travis Fulgham is still there.
He's gonna be the starting X receiver in Philly. Jalen Reagor moving into the slot. Devontae Smith at Z. Travis Fulgham, wide receiver 1 season. That was a fun 2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yep.
Who do I even want here? These are all terrible options.
It's kind of how I'm feeling too.
Oh, yeah, I do not feel good about. Oh boy,
It started so well. Where did it go so wrong?
You know what? I don't want any of these
Robinson?
receivers.
Elijah Mitchell. Nice pick, Mike. Good job.
That was a great pick. The new Jeff Wilson in Elijah Mitchell, except actually a good athlete.
I don't even know who I want here. This is a dart throw.
It just doesn't. The end of drafts, the 18th round doesn't feel as good as it used to, you know?
No.
But that being said, I'm going to go with the starting X receiver in Philadelphia, Travis Fulgham, the Old Dominion guy. So, Steve, remind us, what strategy did you use for your draft?
This was a 0 RB situation.
And so, what are you swinging for?
I'm looking upside mainly.
You know what they say, lots of upside with Byron Pringle.
Yeah, I don't know where
Is that what they say? Once you pop, you can't stop?
I mean, that's kind of how Kansas works, right? Like, one guy pops off every week. You just never know which one.
All right, and I think what I'm going to do is with my 8th wide receiver, I will take the potential RB1 in Atlanta.
Oh, I was going to do that too. I can't believe you did that.
Yes.
I can't believe I just got sniped on Patterson. It's the
perfect.
thing
That
ever.
makes it even better.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Now I have to actually pick somebody. I can't believe that happened. You know what? We'll go Josh Reynolds here. I'm a fan. I'm hoping. I was a little disappointed when Julio came in because I thought he finally got his opportunity. Well, let's hope he gets some slot time.
And that is it, my friends. We have finished our draft picks. Our teams are set. And once again, we'll go through it. We'll look through, but my team's looking pretty good. My team is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I don't feel as confident about this one as some of the other ones I've.
It's normally. Yeah.
It's okay. The bright lights, the big stage, being on the live show, it's intimidating. Being live on screen with this moneymaker, it's intimidating, and that intimidation factor is what led me to get Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields at quarterback. Probably two of the best fantasy quarterbacks over the next 4 or 5 years. Just the dual threat is just elite. And the upside with Aaron Jones, elite. We've seen it year after year after year. Those spike weeks, he is perfect in best ball. Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon, Chase Edmonds going to catch a lot of balls, and he might not score a lot of touchdowns, which is kind of scary. But Melvin Gordon probably will score a lot of touchdowns. Latavius Murray could as well, because sometimes the Saints like to do weird things on the goal line. Sometimes they don't give it to their best players, and so I am prepared for the Taysom Hill reverse to Latavius Murray touchdown at some point. Latavius Murray's going to score 3 touchdowns in one game, so that'll be a great week for me. And then we'll skip down to the tight ends because we talked about it. The NFC East is just a breeding ground for tight end talent. We've got Dallas Goedert, we've got Logan Thomas, and we've got Evan Engram. So it's just so many good tight ends in the NFC East, right, Steve?
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic.
Yep.
And then just these wide receivers. Devontae Adams, the wide receiver 1 in the NFL. Amari Cooper, wide receiver 1 on the best offense in the NFL, right, Dave?
Yep.
Yep, so you've got to agree with me there. Deebo Samuel, potential wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. Michael Pittman, potential wide receiver 1 in Indianapolis. Nelson Aguilar, wide receiver 1 in New England. Denzel Mims, potential wide receiver 1 in New York. Josh Palmer, potential wide receiver 1 with the chart. No, okay, that was a stretch, but
yeah.
This. Look at these receivers. This is good. Well done, me. I am proud of myself.
Yeah, we all know you're proud of yourself.
When am I not?
Right.
All right, Dave, break it down.
All right, so we started off real strong in the QB. I mean, you got Dak Prescott, who was going to easily be the number 1 quarterback last year if he didn't get hurt. He's going to come back. He's going to be putting a hurt on everyone because that defense isn't really any better. So they're still going to be needing him to put up crazy points. Matt Ryan did lose Julio, but there's still some targets there. I think he can still be a solid guy to go for. Running backs were also pretty good. We started off real strong there with Zeke. We keep it on that Dallas offense, which is, going to be outstanding. Then James Robinson, who I wildly think is going to be pretty close to ETN. Zach Moss is the late steal and the running back 1 guy. And then some little reaches with A.G. Dillon and Jamal Williams, guys who are going to be number 2s in kind of a committee scene if things work out in my favor. P. Ryan, I'm taking the gamble in that he's going to be the number 2 there with Mixon's injury history. Moving out to wide receiver, we got Calvin Ridley, who's going to be eating up all the target share that Julio left behind. Jamar Chase going to be occupying, Joe Burrow's, number 1 spot. They have the history. He's going to be rocking out there. A bit of a dirty pick in Chase Claypool. It's a Steeler, so we're not going to talk about him. Christian Kirk, he's living for the old days. Love that. Jamison Crowder, as well as Tyrell Williams. You got some of these vet guys that I think are going to be undervalued due to some rookie hype. Rashad Higgins coming in as that wide receiver 3 in Cleveland. And, OBJ is probably not finishing a whole season. Josh Reynolds going to get that slot work. Loses a little bit of touches with Julio coming in, but I think he's still going to be pretty solid. And finishing it out with our tight ends, you can't go wrong with Hawkinson and Everett, who's going to come into that Seattle offense, and Russ will cook.
Well explained. Well done. I will say, you've got a pretty solid roster. You should be pretty happy, except for the Week 7 running back buys. But we won't talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that. We're punting Week 7.
Week 7's a stupid week anyways. Who needs that week? Cancel Week 7. All right, Steve.
All right, I got my first share of Patrick Mahomes this season. So love the quarterback situation with Mahomes and Tua. And then, I was going 0 RB in this one.
So what strategy? How do you employ 0?
I was looking for upside really when it came down to it. So I've got Trey Sermon, who should be the starter at some point this season for San Francisco. I'm clearly hoping sooner rather than later. I think David Johnson still has enough left in the tank to be the starter there. I think Tariq Cohen is being extremely undervalued in Chicago. So I think he still has good value here. And then Gainwell and Javian Hawkins are just dart throws. I love my wide receivers and I love my tight ends. There's not a ton to talk about there. I mean, it's my first share of Kelsey. It's my second share of Hopkins, like I said, but I'm in a lot with Shenault. That's not surprising. What is kind of surprising to me is now that is my getting Elijah Moore. I've now got 50% share of Elijah Moore on my teams. So I'm a lot more heavily invested in Elijah Moore than I realized. So I'm going to have to pivot a little bit on that. I also
to creep up into Rashad Bateman territory for you.
I know he's right behind him. He's actually my second most drafted it's Rashad Bateman easily number 1, and then it's Elijah Moore and Cortland Sutton are my next 2 wide receivers. So it's interesting. But like, this is my first share of Olamide Zaccheaus. This is my first share of Jacoby Myers, and it's my second one with Paris Campbell. So that's not terrible. But I love the wide receiver group. It's just, like I said, I need the running backs to do something for me on a weekly basis, and the rest of this team will be fine.
And the good news is Cordero Patterson.
Exactly.
Is a running back, is a receiver, so
perfect.
Balance out there. So
maybe he's the guy who steals the running back.
Yeah, but see, the unfortunate part of that is he's listed as wide receiver in Underdog. So even if he leads the team in carries, I still would have to start 2 of these guys that I have. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And as always, I'm the judge, and it looks like I've won again, friends. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I thank you so much for the honor of crowning me champion once again for this week.
Happy to do it.
Thank you. And thank you, Dave, for joining us. So, why don't you plug your pluggables before we head off?
All right. So, easiest way to check out all my stuff is at Dave Fiorella on Twitter. I run a competition called Fantasy Football Ironman, which Jack is a part of, and we do a crazy format where it's 12 players in 12 leagues. And then if you're into redraft, you can check out, I have a fantasy stat book, which is stats for basically every position, every player currently on an NFL roster, including IDP players. And yeah, the easiest way to find it is just catch me on Twitter.
And Dave is a great follow on Twitter, so make sure you follow him at Dave Fiorella, and make sure you follow Steve at nonsense_Steve, because he might be my mortal enemy when it comes to this show, but he's a great co-host and a great boss.
And make sure you're following at NonsenseFF everywhere as well. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, if that's how you're watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow on Twitch. I forget what is it? Follow the page or like the page on Facebook. I don't know the terminology for that one. It's
just go with the general like, share,
and whatever.
Subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, Jack knows best. So be sure to join us next week when we will be joined by Matt Harmon, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Not next week.
Oh, not next week?
No.
Oh, who's next week?
Think again. Next week is Bo McBriar.
Oh, Bo McBriar. I'm sorry. All right, let's try that again.
You're skipping. You're skipping around. You don't even know what our schedule is. Jack knows best about best ball, but not the schedule. That's fine.
Oh, boy. Wow, that is egg on my face. Join us next week. We are joined by Bo McBriar. Bo McBig Time.
That's right.
And be sure to, when you join us next week, that you use promo code nonsense on UnderDog Fantasy for a free $25. Thank you for tuning in, and please join us next week.